What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Excuse my hair is looking crazy all over my head. I'm finna get it chopped down and fade it out in a few days. But nonetheless, man, I got inspired to make this video from a TikToker by the name of Cypher.J. And he spoke about the relationship between black men and women. And I'm gonna summarize it. He talked about the deteriorating relationship between black men and women, and how we have it has affected the way we date, so on and so forth, and how we view each other, and it's made it look like, you know, we are each other's enemy when we aren't at fault for anything, for the situations that we are in as black people at all, right? And I wanted to elaborate on that. I just did a live stream, but I wanted to take it to video format. Me, myself, man, I'm tired of the think pieces over gender roles and 50-50 rules. Black people in general have to be kinder to another. We have to be kinder to each other. Black women and black men have to be kinder to each other. We need to be better people to each other for us to thrive, survive, and for us to elevate. Again, black men and women need to be better people to each other for us to thrive, survive, elevate. For real. Because a lot of these the gender wars start from conversations about 50-50 and oh, you're a man, you're supposed to be paying 100% of the bills. You know, you're a woman, and if I'm paying 100% of the bills, you need to be cleaning up the whole entire house every single day. I bet not have to lift a finger to do no chores, and all the kids need to be well taken care of without any of, you know, much of my input, so on and so forth. You know, the gender wars start from these things. And I think I want to address these things appropriately with the help of what Cypher.J was saying. Cypher, I'm going to use his talking points to get to what I'm ultimately trying to say and what he was saying, right? Historically, black folks got to realize that we were meant to be in last place in America. America was never built for black people to thrive and gain generational wealth. From the beginning, like from historical times, many, many years before our parents, grandparents, so on and so forth, every time black people tried to amass generational wealth, we got railroaded. When we talk about Black Wall Street burning, Tulsa, Oklahoma, talk about Rosewood, we talk about even simple things like the GI Bill. The GI Bill was given to white men, and the scraps were given to black men, right? Social Security was even excluded from black workers at one point. I don't think people even know that. Social Security was excluded from black workers. It excluded black workers initially, right? So where does that leave us? Black folks not getting that GI Bill. We getting scarce little funds from that. Black Wall Street getting burned down. We not getting Social Security, any of that. That leaves us without a lot of things, but it leaves white men with what? They get free land, they get free houses, they get free education from the GI Bill, so on and so forth. And we, in turn, as black men, we're left with mass incarceration, we're left with job discrimination, we're left with redlining, so on and so forth, which is not a recipe for generational wealth at all. Especially, so we're behind the 8 ball to start off already, and then you're putting us back behind the 8 ball even more, right? So we can't expect it. So those things are still in place. Those effects are still in place right now. You know, systemically, this is not a power structure that's meant for black men or women to really thrive in. And so with knowing all of those things that have been put in place historically that happened to us over time, knowing we never had a leg up, knowing that we didn't have a spot where generational wealth can be passed down from us like other white folks in this country have had that happen to them, how can we provide in the same fashion as the average white man in America? You know what I mean? How? We're not set up to provide like a lot of the white men in America at all. We can't. We're not. And I think that thing has to be understood. Furthermore, let's get to the women, because things happen to black women as well. Black women, they couldn't even get a bank account without having a husband or a father sign off on it. Black women couldn't own property for years. Black women were pushed into low-paying domestic labor, domestic work, right? And then they would have to come home and be full-time caretakers, right? Full-time caretakers, while also trying to emotionally build up everybody else in the house. The man is out that comes home after realizing, hey, no matter how hard I work, I'm not going to be able to get into the position that a lot of these other white men are able to get in. So he comes home, he's downtrodden, he's feeling defeated at times. Black woman got to build him up while also being a caretaker and taking care of the babies, while, you know, also working a job, which have her coming home exhausted, mentally drained, stressed out, which leads to an early grave, so on and so forth. And so I say these things, and I say all of those things to say we have to be kinder to each other, and we got to help each other out. When it comes to we got to work as a community, is what I'm trying to say, basically. Black folks, over time, have been tricked into being individualistic. They tell black celebrities when they get money, you don't owe them black folks nothing where you come from. They tell us in turn that rich black man don't owe you nothing. He don't owe nothing to y'all, and by right he doesn't. But it's a great thing to come back and build a community, to pour wealth into the community that you come from, so that other people can also get that leg up. You know, that you probably had to break your neck to even get, or you had to be super exemplary to get, because black people have to work twice as hard as white folks to get what white people get in this country. And that's just a fact. I don't care who get mad at it. But yeah, like when you think about those things, like if a lot of the black wealthy people came back and poured into the community, it would have us in a better position, you know. But white folks tell other black or non-black people in general, tell other rich black people, you don't have to get back to them. You don't owe them nothing. While they're wealthy, pour into their communities. They got all type of nepotism that runs rampant all through their neighborhood and communities. Rich white men will hire his best friend kids. He hires his next door neighbor kids, his next door neighbor grandkids. All of that, keep them to amassing wealth. While we get told, black man, rich black woman, don't do nothing for them black folks. Them Negroes on their own. Them Negroes should be left alone. Like, no. We need to be kinder to each other and help each other out and understand each other. Going back to my point about gender roles in the household and the black woman being overwhelmed from having to work a job and then coming to take care of everything in the house. The black man being overwhelmed by realizing, even though he's told that if you want to get something in this country, you got to work your ass off. And he realizing no matter how much overtime he works, no matter how much he works his ass off, he's not going to be in the position of the position of wealth that the men at his job are in, his bosses are in. No matter what, he's not going to be able to get a leg up. He's got to keep climbing up a mountain, and he keeps getting knocked down. When I talk about all these things, it's about us being kinder to each other. If you got a man and you know for black women, you know you got a man who is does not make as much as you do, don't put it on him to pay 100% of the bills just to say my man pay 100% of the bills. And he just got it, like he doing what a man's supposed to be doing. And we not set up to provide like a lot of these rich, wealthy white men, right? I say that as a man that got 2 degrees. I did everything that I was supposed to do to be able to be the ultimate provider in this country. I got master's degree, a bachelor's degree. I have skills that are transferable across all fields, right? I have a lot of experience, and I was working as a government contractor and did a very important job for this country to keep moving in motion. Got laid off, and now I'm struggling to find work, and the jobs that are available are super low paying, nowhere near what I was getting. And I did everything I was supposed to do by the book. Didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't do none of that. Carried myself professionally, and then now I'm back at square one, right? So those things, when we realize those things, you like, yo, got to be compassionate to your people. If you know your man not in position to pay those things, Don't do it for so don't have him having to pay all the bills just for him to be, so you can say, oh, he's a real man. Times are different than what it used to be. Yeah, your granddad did that back in 1960, but the cost of living has increased and the wages haven't increased fairly. They haven't fairly increased to equal, to even that out, right? Or if you're a man, don't stress yourself trying to pay all the bills just to say, I'm a man, I'm paying everything. Because white men don't trip about their woman making more money than them and paying majority of the bills. And I learned that from working in corporate America, when a lot of the white folks I work with told me their personal business. You know, same goes for labor in the household. Labor in the house. And I got this point from Cypher.j. Fairness over gender roles should be placed first in a household, right? You as a man shouldn't, your woman working, she shouldn't have to clean up every single day, cook every single day. We both live here. Y'all both live there. You as the man can clean. If you know how to cook, you can help with the kids, you can take care of the babies too. When each other are exhausted, helping each other pick each other up so people aren't drained to the point of depression and the point of having a heart attack or a stroke and losing their life out here. We got to be kinder to each other and understand each other. We have to have empathy for one another. The more empathy we have for each other as black people, the more we can elevate and grow, the more we can keep building with each other. You know what I mean? Understanding each other, sitting down and talking to each other, having compassion. No, don't, oh, you a man, you supposed to pay all the stuff. You a woman, you supposed to cook, clean every single fucking day. And if you don't, hey, you a man, you supposed to pay every fucking bill in here. And if you don't do it, you're not a man like my granddad. No. We need conversation. We need to help we need to understand each other, have compassion for each other, and understand we are in a system that was not designed for us to be at the top anyway. And for us to get ahead, we got to think like a community. Right? I watch other people do it all the time. Jewish people, they help out, they build as a community. Asian people, Hispanic people. We got to do it with each other, not being individualistic and pointing the finger at each other, blaming each other for, well, you ain't got this and you ain't got that and you ain't got this and you ain't got no money and you ain't got the money that other black man got who is an amazing basketball player. You ain't coming home and cleaning like I heard your grandmama used to do and, you know, back in the day. And come on. No, we have to be compassionate to each other. Understand that, again, we are in a system that was not built for black folks to really be at the top. It wasn't put in place for us to be, to get ahead. It wasn't. And so we got to be smart and kind to each other, to understand these things and say, let's work together. Black woman, let's work together. She say, black man, let's work together. We gonna be okay, baby. Let's put our heads together. We gonna make it. But it takes us to have empathy for each other. That's what we need.